Tolu Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go for stuff. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Tearing back on the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Mission new I never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the Boss. Hope everybody is having a good weekend, a good Saturday night. Boss, what's good? What's going on?
I'm having a good weekend so far, I would say, except for this. And we have a break from them now. But I mean, a lot of things I loved, a lot of moments I loved in this game. Probably my favorite first 6 minutes of a game this season, the way we were playing. And then, just a bummer. I kind of, I wasn't expecting what I saw in them when, I saw who was out and who was injured. And me and you talked about it. I was just like, oh, it's just going to be a development game. No worries. But just a bummer to lead the whole way and then kind of let it go.
Yeah, but for sure. For sure. What's going on, chat? We see you guys going crazy already in the comments, letting us know your thoughts. Keep them coming. We're going to do the best we can to get to as many of you guys as possible for sure. We just put a poll up. Even though the Pistons will not have a belt winner tonight because they didn't win the game, we're still going to do players of the game regarding our poll. So you guys let us know who you guys think was the player of the game for the Pistons, and we will get to those results a little bit later in the show. So, guys, tonight the Pistons had their 3-game winning streak snapped. As y'all see, I don't have shades today. That's only for dubs. But they had their winning streak snapped. They lost to the Clippers tonight, 98-92, to drop to 28-10 on the regular season, and are no longer one of the 2 teams remaining in the league with single-digit losses. They were 1 and 2 teams along with the Thunder with single-digit losses. That is no longer the case with this loss tonight. Boss, as far as the injury report, the Pistons were missing a lot of offense.
Yeah.
A lot of offense. Just a lot of players, a lot of big big guys tonight in this game for sure. They're missing Kate Cunningham with his wrist contusion. Jalen Duren was out. His right ankle sprain. Tobias Harris was out. Left hip sprain. And Isaiah Stewart was also out with the illness tonight. So as a result of that, the Pistons were very thin up front, and they had to go deeper into their bench for sure. And as a result, they ended up going with the starting 5 of Jaden Ivey, Duncan Robinson, Javonte Green, Ausar Thompson, and Paul Reed. And I think that's the first time we've seen that lineup all season. Correct me if I'm wrong, boss.
I mean, I think so as well. It's definitely the first time it started, but I don't know about on the floor. But Paul Reed
starters,
he hasn't really been out there as much. And I personally think, I think that was the hardest thing for us why we put up so many threes, we're not really a perimeter shooting team, is because we didn't have, we had like Paul and Tolu both have their strengths, but against guys like Zubac, even Brooke Lopez, Batum, it's a little tougher. But if we even had just like Stu or JD, I think that would have even helped our offense even more. Of course, Cade and Tobias get their shots up, but I think we were lacking the paint points.
For sure. Let's get to our guy, Damadavi, who always shows love, coming through with the super chat. I'm sure he has a mouthful to say after this game. Appreciate you, bro. He says tonight, you won an offense, but JB's defense was carrying the second half. Ron and Ausar were suffocating LA on D, and you bailed them out by taking Ron out and bringing LeVert and Duncan back. Don't care who was out, should have won this game. Yeah, I can't really argue with that. You can't play Ron the whole game. I'm with you though. I would have liked to see him more, because it seemed like when he went out of the game, we're going to get to it later, but when he left the game, you saw the kind of the pace and the intensity and just kind of the whole outlook of the game kind of switch. Yeah. Right? It was just a different energy when he sat down. So I definitely agree with you there. I got to give Duncan some credit, because he was huge in that first half. He just wasn't able to keep it up in the second half as far as the scoring. They made some adjustments, and they did not let him get off offensively. So they made adjustments. But go ahead.
I would say for me, I mean, Duncan also, I just saw a lot of effort for him on both sides. Like he was getting frustrated because he was really giving his all. And I see, a lot of you in the comments are quick to blame LeVert. I don't see why. I don't know why, because I think he had actually really good defense tonight for against, Harden. And I think he was in for Ausar. He came in for Ausar for like 2 minutes, and then Ausar came back. So I actually really didn't mind LeVert tonight. I thought he did a good job just being aggressive on that end. And then, like you said, with Duncan, but we just couldn't. That was my worry too, though, Dom. Like when we started the fourth so well, I knew that those guys were going to have to rest at some point.
Exactly.
And so then they kind of took advantage of that too.
But I definitely agree. Definitely a game that should have won. Go ahead.
I was going to say a lot of our problems were coming from missed wide open shots, not really who was subbed in for the defensive end.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. I have some points I'm going to get on too, but since we're there, let's go ahead and lead off with your initial thoughts on this game, boss. Damadavi, I appreciate your comments as always, my brother. Appreciate you, man. All right, boss, take off. What'd you see in this game, man, from beginning to end?
Like I said, I was going in with it, honestly, because the first time we had everyone out early this season, I was like, oh, it's a development game. Not going to expect anything. But this time I was like, well, we know what we can do. So I think it'll be fun. It'll be exciting. The Clippers are coming off a back-to-back. They're probably tired. They were 0 for 5 on back-to-backs until tonight. But, and I loved the start of the game. Well, first, I think Ausar got a quick foul for biting. He did it twice tonight. I was like, come on, Ausar. Yeah. Come on. You're supposed to be like the media. Everyone portrays you as their best defender, which he made a lot of good defensive plays.
He made a lot of great plays. I can't even lie. But yeah.
On Harden, especially early.
Yeah.
And then Ivy had a foul, but then we kicked it in. The defense was so good. It was so fun. I just had a blast watching it. I think we forced them to turn it over like 14 times in the first quarter and a half. Then they only ended up with 21 turnovers, which means we ended up with 24. We ended up with more. But it had its ups and downs. I really thought that we would pull it out. And just kind of fell apart at the end there. And, we said it last time too, when we lost to the Clippers, we haven't Kawhi, you can't just count a team with Kawhi and James Harden. It's you can never discount the Warriors being down 12 with Steph Curry. You just can't discount these guys, especially because they're so good at drawing fouls and getting in ones and drawing the basket. So I would just say there was a lot of stuff that made me happy and proud and excited for these guys. And there was a lot of things that made me frustrated. And I got a couple people individually, but also just some of these open shots we were missing is just not it. They gave us Kawhi missed 2 free throws. That he never does that.
Right. Opportunities were there.
The game, and we weren't taking advantage. So I just feel sucks because I wanted them to win going into this break feeling good. I mean, they're gonna feel hungry, and I think the reason that some people didn't play tonight was because we're going to this break. They could just be even healthier in 5 days. But I had high hopes, and there was a lot of times I was excited, but that's kind of where my thoughts are at.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. With so many guys out, you're gonna have to get it done in transition.
Yeah.
Because your half court offense just is not going to be what you're used to seeing with Cade out, with JD out, with Tobias out, right? You're not going to be able to go to post ups with Tobias. The pick and roll is not going to be there. You're never going to have to win this game with as much transition offense as possible. And they did a great job to start, right? Great energy. I think they were up 20 to 5 in the first quarter, just turning them over. getting out transition, getting easy buckets, making them call the first time out, right? Like we always talk about. Mm-hmm. So the defense was there. It was there. The effort was there all night. The defensive execution was really there in the first quarter, in the third quarter. Great individual defense, great help side defense, great rotations. Like it was just all clicking in that first quarter.
Yep.
Yeah, they started the game very, very well. 14 first quarter points for the Clips.
Yeah, crazy.
Right, so that's a great sign. Well, we had 28 without those guys just because of easy buckets from transition. Mm-hmm. But boss, the one thing we talked about the cold shooting, right? They shot, I think, 24% from three tonight, which is not going to get it done.
Especially for us who don't shoot threes.
Yeah, right. But for me, even bigger point in this game is like, we were missing Cade, we're missing JD, missing Tobias, but we still showed what we can do without those guys. We still showed that we can win this game and control this game without those guys. Until 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, we only were trailing 1-0.
Yeah.
Until the end of the game. So it's like what happened in between those other 45 minutes, right? And here's the thing. One thing we talked about, boss, against the Knicks, after they built that halftime lead, it came out great. Same thing.
Yeah.
Came out great. Got to halftime. What did we say? How are they going to respond in that third quarter? Yeah. Are they going to put the game away? Or are they going to allow the Knicks to get back into the game and let their foot off the gas?
Yeah.
That was the difference in this game.
Yeah.
They took their foot off the gas. I know we had guys out, but we still showed we could beat this team.
Right.
They took their foot off the gas. That was the difference. They didn't quite
12 straight points on the third.
12 straight points. And they let them go on runs twice in the second half.
Yeah.
It wasn't just once, it was twice in the second half. Within the span of like 2 minutes, they let them go on a 10-0 run, 12-0 run. That's the difference in the game. They let their foot off the gas. And you saw early in that third quarter, the Clippers had a different urgency about themselves that the Pistons just did not match until late in this. You know what I mean? So those runs were the difference in the game. And like, though they were able to build the lead back up with the Pistons in that third quarter, toward the end of the third quarter, again, they started the fourth quarter slow again, which led to another double-digit run for the Clippers. And once again, just a couple minutes. So the breaks in the concentration and the lack of energy, those lulls they had in that third quarter and in that fourth quarter, to me, is what lost the game. They have to stay as locked in for 48 minutes as much as possible, because in today's NBA, you know this, boss, no lead is safe. You mentioned the Warriors. No lead is safe.
Yeah.
So it was disappointing for me because the Clippers were on a back-to-back. They're already an older team. On a back-to-back. So for them to have a higher level of energy than we did, and to show it in two separate runs, you would think after the first run in the third quarter, build the lead back up. Okay, let's not let it happen again. But they let it happen again to start the fourth quarter. That was the difference. Not that it wasn't the shooting, because despite the shooting, despite not having Cade, JD, Stu, we still were up double digits for most of this game.
Yeah.
The difference was just the lapses and not staying locked in. And that's what young teams do. That's what young teams do.
Yeah. And again, these guys the Clippers aren't young, but they're vets. And so they know that they need to come out. They understood the situation going into halftime, that they're down against a team that is missing their stars. So they decided to come out and shoot. And that's what they do. They have incredible offense. And their defense really picked up too. That was the other thing. I was hoping that we would start the way we did in the first, and we didn't. So I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah. Clara says, evening, folks. What's going on, Clara? Again, lackluster third quarter. Exactly. But admire the no quit in Green, DJ. And but we had some great individual performances. We just weren't able to put it together for 48 minutes as a team.
Yeah.
Right. And that was the difference.
I could tier it. Like, I think that there were great performances tonight. I think there were solid performances tonight, average performances, and I think there were poor performances. And I think that's how it went. And there wasn't just one person who wrecked it for us, but there were, I would say, 3 to 4 people in each tier. Yeah,
I would agree with that. Yeah. So that we'll leave it there, boss. I'm not gonna overreact to this game because we were shorthanded.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am going to make light of the fact that they have to make sure that they don't have these lapses. And this is what young teams do, right? You can't let a veteran team hang around, right? That's all they want to do, is just hang around and keep it close until the fourth quarter. And then they can kind of do what they do best, because they've been there before in late game situations. They know how to finish games.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
That's where I'm at with it, because the Pistons have been really good about closing out this season, like really good. Because we mentioned it before. We mentioned like we're actually closing out games. This is happening, And so I think And there were some also just, we'll get into it, miscues and stuff. Like you could tell that, Tolu was a little bit new. You could tell some of these lineups didn't work together because some people kind of stayed still when they were loose balls. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Is like, I'm not going to overreact either because the closeout was unlike us. But at the same time, they got to take accountability for what happened.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we'll leave it there, boss. We see all the comments. We're going to get to some of these guys individually. I see a lot of comments here. So we're saving those for when we get to those individual guys.
Yeah, repeat it, guys, because you guys are flying through. So
whatever you said before, just pop it back in there, and then we'll get to as many as we can. And if we miss you guys, super chat, repost, caps lock, whatever you guys want to do to get our attention, we'll do the best we can. I want to get Camille in here too. Camille says those 4 turnovers in a row killed us after we had that 14-point lead in the fourth. Exactly, that was the lapse I was talking about. That was one of the lapses I was talking about. You can't have it, right? And once again, the turnovers make it hard. Like if you walk with me, the turnovers are what lead to the cold shooting, all these things. It leads to you not being able to get out in transition because when you turn it over, it makes it easier for them to score.
Yep.
And then when they score, you're taking the ball out of hoop, and now you can't get out in transition. It's a whole domino effect that happens. So you got to take care of the basketball in order to be able to get out in transition.
Yeah.
So it was tough, but I definitely agree with Camille. Like those turnovers were tough.
Yeah.
And but once again, though, too, like you let a game get tight.
Yeah.
You let a game get close, and you're in the half court. It's not gonna be a good look, right? That's the recipe for disaster for a team that likes to get out and run, especially when you don't have your guys who are best for you in the half court available, right? When it gets tight in the half court game, you need Cade, you need JD, you need Tobias. That's why you can't afford to turn it over.
Absolutely, and also that's like I said earlier, I think if we had a better, I can trust Paul Reed in the paint, but like he's not Stu. Like Stu really plays bully ball down there.
Yep.
And I think we just relied a lot on our perimeter shots. I mean, I even mentioned to you, I wish some of these guys that weren't hitting their threes dribbled in and got some mid range, which did work for Ivy for a little streak. Got 6 points in a row for us at one point, but I don't know, it just wasn't soon enough. It wasn't clicking. And then, the turnovers at the end, some of the silly mistakes just handed it away.
Yeah. I think this is a good comment here too, because it's like Dallas Maui says, we spent so much energy and effort on D. We lost the offensive touch, especially from 3. That actually may be a valid point because we talk about our depth, but we were down a lot of guys tonight, a lot of offense, because we're used to talking about how these guys can go hard and they can afford to go hard because as soon as they get tired, they got somebody behind them that can come and do the same thing. We had less guys coming behind them tonight because a lot of our bench guys were starting. The guys that were used to having come in to kind of sub those guys in and continue that energy, they were starting the energy. So when those guys sat down, you didn't have as much off your bench as you normally do. And that may have been what affected the shooting as well. That's a good point there.
I do agree, except, the guys that went 0 for, like Ivy went 0 for 5 and Sass went 0 for 4. Sass was only in for 7 minutes. Like those guys, they did obviously put up a defensive effort, but like there were guys out there that were putting up a bigger effort, I would say, like Javonte and Ausar and Ron, like they were really going at it and they were able to produce too. So it's yes and no. I would say we definitely were going hard, but we had wide open shots that we just weren't making. And Sass and I were part of that. And there were some other ones too that just should have gone in. Yeah,
as far as shooting, it was a collective. Yeah. Like nobody really shot it well from 3 tonight. And we'll get to the individual guys. Let's actually go there now, boss. Let's get to some box scores and take a look, and then we can kind of hit on some of these comments that we are seeing repeat over and over again. So we're going to get to you guys for sure. Boss, let's start with Daniss Jenkins. Sorry, not Daniss Jenkins. Jaden Ivey. I'm so used to Daniss starting when Kate's out. Jaden Ivey tonight, guys, at point guard started. He had 8 points on 4 for 12 overall, 0 for 5 from 3. He could not make a shot from long range. 3 boards, 1 turnover in only 20 minutes, boss. So take off. What did you see tonight from Jaden Ivey?
Like I mentioned earlier, and like we talked about it too, I was disappointed with Ivy. I think, let me know if you're here. Someone mentioned the last time they noticed his body language off, and I just didn't. And tonight I kind of did. He was getting frustrated and down after the first half. He went on that little run for the 6 straight points in the third, which was really helpful for us because that was after their run. But he had a really bad turnover that was super timely. It was when they were on their run, I think, in the third. And then just not hitting the open shots. That was just, frustrating. Like 0 from 5, like we just can't have that tonight. His shooting was pretty rough. And I've just been such an advocate. Sorry if you heard that. That was my cat. I've just been such an advocate for him this season. And I thought he was, on a right trend. I was like, he's going to pop up any day now. And now these past few games, he's kind of declined. So, tonight, Ivy he disappointed me.
Yeah, same here. He didn't play well tonight, man.
Yeah.
Like, we don't keep it stack. He didn't play well. This is probably his worst game of the season.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's been playing at about first few games, he was at like 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 13 minutes. But tonight, I think the last few games, he's been at about 20. So he's getting more. He's played enough to be impactful. And tonight he just wasn't. Right? Even the points that he scored, a lot of them came off broken plays. Right? Where he was leaking out, had an easy layup, stuff like that. He had a nice fadeaway jumper, but that was the only bucket I remember of note where he was just aggressive looking for his offense. I said before, I need him to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
Even if his shot's not falling, I need him to be aggressive, even just trying to play make when he's out there, just putting pressure on the defense, getting downhill, making plays forever, dribble kick out, just things that we've seen him do earlier this year. He definitely has to be more aggressive while he's on the court, especially only playing 20 minutes a game. Because he just said recently that there is no minute restriction. Omari Sankofa, shout out to Omari, asked him if there was a minute restriction, anything like that. He said, nope. So if there isn't a minute restriction, we got to see that aggression for him for sure. He just didn't have. So, like, you're going to have bad shooting nights.
Yeah.
Right? 0 for 5. We saw last game, Daniss Jenkins shot terribly, but had 15 assists. Right? So I'm not saying have 15 assists, but you got to be more impactful than aside from the box score. He made some key mistakes, some turnovers off of curls for Duncan Robinson that just wasn't there. It was two guys in the ball ready for it. Like, so he just wasn't good tonight. This was not. I'm not panicking. I'm not saying you should trade him, anything like that. But he has to be better. He definitely has to be better. He hasn't really had a game where he kind of put it all together yet.
Exactly.
Right. He's had games where he's done good things here and there. He's had games where he hasn't hurt the team and been somewhat impactful. He hasn't had a game where he's just put it all together and been belt worthy, if that makes sense. Like how Tolu, I thought, was tonight. I thought Tolu was belt worthy tonight. Right. So I got to see more aggression.
Yeah.
Just as far as just looking to take pressure off of your other guards, looking to get your bigs involved, looking for your shot. And if that's not there, just finding other ways to be impactful. And I just didn't feel like he did that enough. So once again, I'm not saying it's panic time, anything like that. I still have confidence that he can be the guy we saw last year.
Yeah.
Once we get closer to the spring, but we got to see more out of him on both sides of the ball for sure.
That's exactly it. I think that's why I'm a little disappointed, because I know that there's mixed feelings about Ivy among the fan base in this chat right now. Me and you have always been fans of Ivy, and we want to see him, get up. So there, it comes off as a little biased, but tonight was the night for him to step up. Like, we needed him tonight. We needed that with these guys gone. And after his last game wasn't the best either, like, we really needed it. So, so that's just kind of where, like you said, not panicking. If he was having, if this was Cade and he was having a really bad game, like, we wouldn't be like, trade Cade. But I can understand why people in the chat are like, okay, but like, we've been waiting for him. Still, isn't happening. So, but yeah, he has been
think too, like, he needs to be
scenarios. Like, I was gonna say, like, you brought up last time how he was starting point guard.
Yes.
Trying to use him as shooting guard. And now he's a starting point guard again, also without Stu and some other guys. Like, it hasn't clicked there. But I did notice that they did put him in with Sasser, and they did put him in with Jenkins. Like, they did put him in with other ball handlers. LeVert was the main ball handler at times too. So he had that opportunity and still wasn't getting it in. So just an off night, just a bad night for Ivy. I don't blame anyone for thinking the same.
I don't blame anybody for saying he had a bad game.
Yeah.
But if you're going to judge him off this game, then there's nothing for me really to talk about, right? Yeah. Because even though this was his first bad game of the year, I think a lot of people were expecting him to come back right away and be the guy he was last year. That's just not reasonable. That's not even realistic, right? So as long as we see him continue to progress week over week, not game over game, because you're going to have bad games. Week over week, we see him getting better and better. His minutes go up, because once again, no minute restriction, 20 minutes. So I don't know what's going on there, but I hope that goes up, and I just hope he continues to progress week over week and just look more comfortable. Yeah, just look more like the guy that we've seen last year. Just looking like he's going to return to that guy at some point, which I think he will. But you know,
I thought he was, and I've seen a couple people comment that, he kind of looked like a robot out there. And again, so something was just off in his rhythm. I think, he could be in his own head.
I'm sorry, go ahead, pull it back up. My bad.
Oh, I didn't press it. I can't find it.
Okay, go ahead.
But yeah, I think that's just kind of where I'm at. I understand it's kind of a mixed bag right now because like I said, he was trending in the right direction. I was like, he's moving his feet better. He's getting faster. He's making better decisions. He's hitting his threes, all this stuff. And we just didn't see any of that tonight. So
yeah. Bionic says Charlamagne ain't no God. Charlamagne a God. Breakfast Club. But J.I. truthfully had an off game. But I'm not going to crucify him for it. Right. Because to be honest, for all you guys who think that he doesn't have a role or he's not the number 2, I haven't seen you guys giving him any credit for the games he has played well this year. Mm-hmm. But I see you jumping to the comments as soon as he doesn't play well. So I'm calling y'all out, right? Because y'all got to be fair on both sides. We're calling it fair on both sides. We call him out when he doesn't play well, and we say when he does play well, we say he plays well. I need y'all to be unbiased too, right? So we got to be fair. We can't say after one game that we got to trade him or he's not playing well or he's not this or that after one game when you're not giving him any credit for how he has played the past couple weeks as a whole. So once again, it's one game. He didn't play well. We have to see improvement. We can all agree on that. But once again, the playoffs are not starting next week.
And I will just
say 28-10.
Yes.
Despite him only playing 20 minutes a game. So let's check back in and see how he looks next week. And let's see how he looks in the spring. And then we can really be a judge when it matters how he's playing.
Yeah. And I just want to say, guys, too, you might as well, he's on your team. You might as well just support him because Trajan even reiterated lately that they're not making a big splash. Someone that we thought they might go for, the Pelican, Trey Murphy, the Pelicans shut that down. Like,
yeah, oh my God. Yeah,
we're not, I know we won't get into that part, but he's on your team. And so, of course, call him out, be excited because you know what he can do and you want him to be there. We all do. He does. I know J.I. wants to be there too. Mm-hmm. But I think he's going to be a part of this team this whole season. So I would, root him on.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't look like any major trades are going to happen right now.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one thing Trajan Lane has said. He's been consistent with that, saying that he's not going to make a big splash. He really wants to evaluate these guys to see we still have not seen Cade, Jaden, Ausar, Stu, and JD. We still have not seen one starting lineup with that group since JB has been here. Yeah. Not one. Mm-hmm. And this is J.I.'s second start of the year, and he's playing out of position.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he and out of the position have been his 2 worst games. And guys, yes, he has been a point guard for us before, but in his rookie season, for Cade, when we were still last in the league, so it's just adjusting to this stuff. But obviously, not an Ivy game. And I'm hoping that he gets, bounces back and feels more comfortable soon.
Yeah. And for those, I see somebody saying, trade him. Mm-hmm. Who are you going to trade him for?
They're going to say, don't start it.
Okay, we're not going to do that tonight. All right, we'll leave it there. I was asking that as kind of a rhetorical question. Like, what are you going to? Brandon says, Ivy got his leg broke, started to come back, then had to have surgery, and is now expected to be one of the top athletes in the world overnight. Patience is needed. He hasn't even played 35 games yet. It's a great point. I mean, also, when you think about, we've had the same conversation with a lot of guys on this team. Mm-hmm. We were saying about Cade. People were saying about Cade when he broke his tibia. Well, he's a bust. He's not going to be this. He's not going to be that. Said the same thing about JD last year. First half of the year, he didn't play well. Let's trade him for Nick Claxton, Vucevic. He's not good. He's overrated. Same thing about Ausar when he had his blood clot issues. Is he able to be on the floor? Why is he only playing 18? Like every starter, it seems like Stu before last year. Oh, let's trade him. Let's throw him in this package. Now we're saying, oh, he DPOI. Like it's just this knee-jerk prisoner of the moment reaction to me is over. It's very exhausting. Yeah. And that's why, patience is important, man.
Someone just said that Ivy hasn't scored more than 11 points twice. Keon Ellis hasn't either this season.
Right.
Keon Ellis is a great concept. That's what he is right now, is a concept. Yeah. He hasn't balled out either.
Yeah, so people just live in the moment. He's had a bad game. For anybody who says that they don't think he's had a bad game this year, you weren't watching.
You mean a good game?
Or a good game this year? Yeah. Thank you. You weren't watching. You know, like, once again, he hasn't played more than 20 minutes, I think, but one game all year.
Yeah.
So what do you expect him to do in that amount of time? Are you looking for him to score 20 points? Mm-hmm. Like, what is your barometer of having a good game? We talk about impact on the show all the time. We mentioned Daniss Jenkins last show, 2 points, best player in the game, right? So yeah, like some of this stuff, I'm not even going to entertain.
Crazy.
Let's go back to that real quick.
Because then I do want to acknowledge this one because
let's do it. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Why has this team played so well, boss? Aside from the depth, what you continue to hear is how these guys are connected.
Yep.
These guys have chemistry. These guys like each other. There is no off the court issues. There are no egos. There is nothing going on negatively with these guys, which makes them want to play for each other and go hard for each other. They like each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
You bring in a guy like John, you can't play 2K and look at stuff on paper and say, oh, you slide him in here, that's going to boost our offense to 94. Like, no, bro. Like, these guys have to get along.
Yeah.
Chemistry is actually a thing in locker rooms, off the court. You had a guy like John Morant, who's extremely talented. What does that do to your chemistry?
Yeah.
This is a guy who can't stay out of the news.
Yeah.
Who was doing more talking this year than he is playing. He's pointing in Klay Thompson's face and he didn't even play the game. Like, you got to look at more than just on the court, man.
Ja, is young, immature. That's another thing. Kind of the exact opposite of Cade's mentality, I feel. But I want him to succeed. And I think, the Memphis that they want to trade him, I think that a new environment will work for him. It's got to go to a rebuild team or something. It can't come to a team like ours. He can't be dropped in OKC. He can't be dropped in here. He can't be dropped in the Spurs. He can't be dropped where teams are meshing. Kind of where that's at right now, because he does, he could just need a change of scenery to grow up a little bit. But I don't want that here. And people have said they don't want Malik Beasley back for the drama, and you want Ja.
But you want Ja Morant.
And I only know Jay wants Ja. That's the only person I know wants Ja right now. So yeah. But I did
listen, man, y'all are all entitled to your opinions, but some of y'all crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. Some of y'all, Nizzy No ID says it's his body language more than anything. Always looking like he's soaking on the bench after games in the locker room. He looks unhappy. It's impacting the game. Why am I not seeing any of this stuff?
Well, there have been multiple people that have said it. And I think, Deuce, you can know Ivy and his family personally. And it's something I even mentioned to you when earlier in the season before he was back. I said, Ivy looks like sad. He looks out of it. Like, is he okay? He's like, no, he's just, he wants to be out there. He's locked in. So I personally take it as Ivy has expectations for himself and he wants to help us win, which is also why he's also been in his head and not been aggressive. And now when he is trying to take shots and it's not making it, I think it's more of a him thing. But since, it's not the only person that's mentioned it, and we did mention today his low energy. And I think not getting into it led to that too, because if a guy's having a bad game, Daniss is always one. He wasn't shooting well the other night, but he was up and cheering for his team. I think just helps you stay in it. And again, we don't know what's going on in Ivy's. All we know is what we see on the court. That's it. So we don't know what's going on with Ivy's, what he could possibly be thinking about. We can't assume either. But I just wanted to shout that out because you aren't the first. I think 3 or 4 different people have mentioned it. So I haven't looked at it, but I did notice when he was walking to the bench, he looked a little bit sulky and down, but at the same time, he made a turnover and missed a shot. He made a crucial mistake. So
yeah, once again, man, we'll see how things continue to play out over the next few weeks. If it continues to look this way, then we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But this is the first game from my eyes where it just looked like he just did not play well at all. Right. So we'll just keep an eye on that. But once again, I think a lot of you guys are going to be eating some crow come springtime. So we'll leave it there. And look, if it doesn't change, y'all know me, I'll be the one to eat the crow. Y'all know me, your boss, have no issue saying I was wrong, saying we were wrong, whatever, right? We can all have our opinion, but we will definitely revisit this conversation in the future, not after
we want accountability from these players. If that's what we expect from them, we gotta do it
ourselves, and we gonna demand it from y'all too.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So that's what we do here. So we'll leave it there, guys. But good conversation, right? All good conversation. So we'll leave it there, boss. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. Devin, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you showing up as you always do, bro. Let's move on, guys. Let's move on to Duncan Robinson tonight, boss. 20 points. 7 for 10 shooting overall, 5 for 7 from 3. 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 1 assist, 3 turnovers in 28 minutes, boss. Take off on Uncle Dunk. What did you see tonight?
Yeah, well, all 20 points were in the first half. I mean, again, that's kind of the Clippers and knowing like who to stop and who to guard and who to get in front of. They kind of just didn't let Duncan get the ball. I saw a lot of effort from him. He started 5 for 5. He had 3 threes, a layup, and then the reverse layup. Like he was everywhere. He stepped up with guys down in the way that we needed. I was just talking about how we needed Ivy too. Like he just stepped up. Just a bummer that, he was held to, no points in the second half. That would have definitely been helpful. And again, it wasn't even because he wasn't getting, it was because he wasn't getting shots up really. Because if he ended 7 of 10 and he went 5 for 5 in the first half, he took that as, he made 2 of 3 in the second. But yeah, I liked what I saw from Duncan tonight. Just tons of effort too. I thought that he was moving around a lot. He did a pretty good job. Like he did good enough that defenders weren't seeking him out. Yep. That's what I kind of realized, And again, like these, like Harden and Kawhi, like they're smart. Like they would seek him out. There were a couple times he was on Harden and he was effective. There were a couple times that he got taken advantage of, but he never stopped. That's someone who I just saw effort on both ends. He even flew in for some rebounds. Yeah, I really liked what I saw from Duncan tonight.
Yeah, I think he played his best half of the season in the first half. He really wasn't there. Impactful in the second half. I think they just kind of took him away. Yeah. Crowded him. Yeah, stayed attached to him, coming off screens.
Chris Dunn was on. Chris Dunn is a really good defender.
And we weren't able to get out in transition as much in the second half either. Right. And a lot of his points in the first half came in transition, whether it was open threes or whether he was just doing his best Tyler Hero impression on the break, crossing up Zubac and doing the up and under scoop with the left hand. That was nice. Yeah, I agree, Brandon. He was Steph in the first half, needed him in the second half though, and they took him away. But he had 20 first half points, boss, 13 in the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
But once again, like even though he wasn't there in the second, because how many games this year has he scored 20 points?
Yeah, true.
Right, not a lot. So even though he didn't have a great second half, they took him away. That's when you need somebody else to step up. Right. Yeah. That's when you need other guys to really, and we had some guys who did that tonight, but I'm not gonna criticize Duncan in this game because even though he wasn't there as much in the second half, what he did in the first half should have been enough for us to put this game away. Because once again, third quarter, if you put the game away, if you're able to, stay locked in defensively, we're not talking about Duncan Robinson not stepping up in the second half. He's able to sit in the bench because this game is put out of reach.
His 20 points came in 16 minutes. The other minutes he played were the second half where he couldn't get any shots up. That's crazy. 20 points in 16 minutes is very, very efficient.
I like what Dre says here. Duncan gave us 20 points. I can't be mad at Rob. Yeah. Like he did enough for us to win this game.
Yes.
Like if we shouldn't expect another 20 in the second half the way he did in the first half because he hasn't, like I said, hasn't scored 20 a lot of games this year. And we praise him for still playing well those games. So this should have been more than enough for us to be able to get this dub. DeVero says his gravity still drew a lot of attention and created open shots that everyone exactly. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Because they made the adjustment, like you just mentioned, boss. They made the adjustment and they put a lot of attention on him and other guys had shots. So he still did enough in the second half just by being out there and being a presence and giving guys open looks. We just weren't able to knock him down. That's what it came down to.
Exactly.
So we'll leave it there, man. That's all I got on him. No criticism from me tonight from Duncan Robinson. He set the tone for us, and that should have been enough.
And he was getting, kind of frustrated towards the end. He wanted to finish strong for the team. I just noticed he's always been a passionate player, but I just feel like he's getting more into the culture. He's already been in it, but when you see a guy getting passionate and frustrated at silly fouls or turnovers or wanting to score, then it just, it shows. Like people are just saying lack of energy. You can see lack of energy with people like Ivy today. And you can see a lot of energy with people like Duncan today.
Yeah, for sure. It was a lot to like for sure. So we'll leave it there on Duncan, guys. We will move on now to Savage. Woo. Can you woo? Javonte Green tonight, guys. Started at small forward. He has 7 points on 2 for 6 shooting overall, 1 of 5 from 3. 2-2 from the free throw line, 7 boards, 3 turnovers, 4 steals, and 3 blocks, boss. 7 stocks
That's
for
crazy.
Javonte Green in 33 minutes. Take off.
I mean, 7 stocks can be like an average for some teams, during certain games, really bad games. But he set the tone early. He made it hard. He was in Harden's face. He was knocking, Kawhi around, the ball out of Kawhi's hand. Like they cut it down to, I think, the first possession, like 10 seconds for the Clippers because of his energy. He just had a lot of that tonight, obviously, with his 4 steals and 3 blocks. He had that big 3 in the third when the Clips were cutting the lead. That chase down block on Kawhi after the turnover was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Because I mean,
it might have been the goaltend, but it was like bang bang, so I wasn't even mad.
It was enough where it's like you not to overturn enough
for
to
sure.
Call it. So I'm glad the refs obviously didn't call that one. But
yeah,
and I thought that 3 that he had in the last 20 seconds, it like went in and out. I thought for sure that was Javonte Green. Because that's like we've been talking about. Like, he tends to make his threes in the clutch. Like he's a clutch player. But overall,
he was just
nothing but energy tonight. Man. Nothing but fight. Yeah. I again, he's just every night it's the same thing. This is the most fouls he's gotten all season, 5. And I think 2 of them were intentional at the end. A couple were questionable, but he just, I mean, his stat line, except for the 7.7 rebounds, wouldn't 0 assists, you'd be like, oh, nothing. But then you look at the stocks and you know how great of a defender he is. He was doing so good in front of Harden at times. I liked a lot what I saw from Javonte, and he's not one of the guys that, he was 2 for 6, but he's not one of the guys I think of when I think of our poor shooting night,
And the thing is, like, you see the 1 for 5 from 3, but you think about how much energy he exerted.
Yeah.
First thing that goes your legs. He played 33 minutes, right? That's like most of those shots he's knocking down, but you saw him going a little bit harder tonight because he knew he had to, like we talked about last game. It looked like last game, guys are trying to do a little bit more, all of them, right? Whether it was offensively, defensively, just trying to give a little bit more to compensate for the guys that were out.
Yeah.
You saw him even more. Exactly, Pac-Man. He was gassed. Exactly. That's why he's 1 for 5 tonight.
Yeah.
He's usually at least bare minimum 2 for 5.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
Yes, exactly.
Right? But you've seen him go 3 for 5, 4 for 5 at times. He was tired, man. To the very end, even after he missed that 3 ball in the corner, he still almost got a steal on Kawhi.
Exactly.
Like he was all hard.
Yeah.
That's once again, boss, the impact that he brings. He played 33 minutes and has 7 points.
That's crazy.
And was still one of the better players in this game.
Yep. And that's
what he brings. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I just think that's why I've said he's always been he hasn't had a bad game yet because he just makes up for it in any way. If he's missing his shot, he's gonna go get that steal back. Like it was B-ball Paul. We'll get to him later, but it's when B-ball Paul had a turnover and then got the jump ball. Like, it's just like they just make up for it immediately. And Javonte, was he just set the tone. He also was, again, like I said, he bothered the Clippers on their first possession.
First possession of the game.
Exactly. Twice. He made them not forget about him twice.
Yep.
So I can't even imagine him having a bad game because he just knows what to do. If he
finds a way.
If all they asked him to do was stay in front of a guy and make him pass the ball, he would do that. Like he's just and then zeros across the board, but 20 minutes to stay in front of a guy, like that's who he is. And I think he's just very smart plays. I really loved at the end of the game when he snatched it from Zubac from behind because he just knew like the way that Zubac was approaching, like he would be able to sneak around and get it without. It was a smarter play because we talked about him getting the passing lanes and like missing and stuff. Like there was no risk involved. Like, even if he misses, Ausar's still behind Zubac to block,
Yeah.
So
so Jay has a question here. It says, would y'all start Wu over Ausar? I personally wouldn't at this point.
Yeah.
I think the shooting will be tough with Ausar and Ron. I love the whole 9-to-5 thing.
Yeah.
I just think the shooting would be tough with those two guys on the court together. You really wouldn't have much spacing. But I definitely, like I've said all year, he ain't going to start games, but he's going to finish them.
Yes.
Because you want him in the game for the types of plays that he can make down the stretch. He's just a smart player. But as of right now, I'm fine with Ausar. Right? I thought Ausar was really good tonight.
Yeah.
He wasn't perfect, but I thought he made a lot of plays.
Yeah.
And I think he just gets us off to good starts, keeps the pace up. He makes a lot of, and he gets going off his defense. When he has his defense rolling early, it really helps him offensively. So I would definitely keep Ausar in the starting lineup for now and just kind of go from there. What are your thoughts on that, boss?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if it's, I just thought we had Javonte in the starting lineup tonight. Like if something happened to Ausar or like he went on ministers again, I would pick Wu to start for him. But when Ron comes in, when you see them check in, you're like, okay, the tone's going to change. Like these are our spark plugs. True. And so while he remained, a spark plug tonight as a starter on the bench, I think, Ausar can definitely still get it done as a starter, and then Wu can get it done on the bench. And like we said, this is the most minutes he's played for us, I think, or maybe close to it, because he was a starter, and we just saw how much the energy and how he got tired towards the end. So when you come off the bench, you usually get that time to rest because the starters will go back in. So
yeah, I think it's a fair question. I just like what Ausar brings to start the game.
Same.
I feel like he just really gets our engine rolling.
Well, he's been doing that. Early. I've told you, like we've talked about it being up and down with him. In the last few games, he has gotten it done early, energetic right off the bat. So that I appreciate from him. And again, when we do bring in our guys, whether it's against other team starters or their bench, like the last thing you want to see is Javonte Green and Ron Holland checking in at the same time. So
that's a very good point. That's a very good point.
After that.
Yeah. Tough. So we'll leave it there, man. I thought he played admirable, man. It was inspired basketball. Yeah, I appreciate what he brings to the table. Not that, it's not even about who's better. I just like the way the lineups are. And once again, you talked about that punch off the bench that you can rely on with guys like him and Ron together. I think they just have a nice chemistry as well on the court when they play together. So I like it. I like the way it is right now with those two. So we'll leave it there. Guys, let's move on to Ausar Thompson. We just talked about him, right? So, guys, tonight, Ausar Thompson finished with 6 points on 3 for 6 shooting, 3 boards, 6 assists, 1 turnover, good ratio, 2 steals, 3 blocks. So he had 5 stocks himself, boss. Green had 7 and he had 5 in 34 minutes. So, boss, take off on Ausar Thompson. What did you see from him tonight?
Yeah, he just like we've already talked about with him, just touched on his defense was great. He bit a few times on Harden's pump fakes, once in the beginning, and then once in the fourth, which was a little tough. But other than that, he cleaned his defense up against him. He had that nice block on Zubac in the fourth that kind of kept us in it. If it was from behind, I think we were still down 1. That soaring left-hand jam too. There's no one else that Sasser could have lobbed that to that would have been able to get that. The one where Ausar grabbed his left hand and he just floats. He's so, and also just to finish, he was going way too forward. So just to finish, bring the ball down without going over the hoop was just another sign of.
Look at this play, man. Elbow at the rim, boss.
Oh, nice.
Like 98% of the league, players in the league would not be able.
Well, Sasser even shook his head because he's like, I don't think he meant it for it to be that high, but it was to Ausar Thompson who could clean it up and, get that.
Well, the thing is, it kind of had to be because Kawhi's hands are like twice the size of anybody else's in the league.
I think
he had to put it that high. I'm glad he did put it that high. To me, it was a good pass because he knew who was there defending and he knew who was on the opposite end of the lob. So to me, it was a perfect pass.
Well, even Sass, I mean, after he threw it, you can see him shaking his head a little bit. Like that was almost too. It was almost too. It was ended up being perfect, but it was almost just like a little too high. But
but it's like even though he was surprised, I think he still knew he had to do it.
Right. Yeah.
Because if he didn't, it's going to be a steal. But you're right. Like he was surprised. Like, wow, he actually put that in.
Yeah. I agree. So I mean, that was Sass's best contribution to the game as well. Yeah. But that and the stealing, everything Ausar tonight just on defense was just really huge, and he was getting frustrated a little bit too. You could tell he's stored up for rebounds. He thought that it's something that it's again Harden and Kawhi are frustrating because they know how to draw the fouls and get the contact.
Oh my God! They grab your arm like this, and then let go. Yeah,
he was getting fresh, and then again, sometimes they get those calls, and then we got guys going for rebounds, getting pulled down and hit across the face, and they don't get any calls. We didn't get a lot of and ones tonight. They got they got a couple, so it just got frustrating for him because he also just he's out there putting his effort in too. He put just as much effort as everyone else. especially on the defensive end tonight. So
100%
I like
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, he made a lot of good defensive plays, man. I can't even recount all of them, but he made so many. He started off like rough, like you mentioned, like on that first foul he had on Kawhi, and I was frustrated because that was after Javonte Green had 2 near steals, right?
Yes,
on the opening play. They had like 10 seconds left on the shot clock after that, and you still allowed them to bait you into a like. That was the frustrating part in that first play of the game. 0.7 left on the clock, on the shot, like that was tough. But for him to still rebound and stay locked in defensively was what I liked, right? He said he's more athletic than I'm in. He's just shy. It's funny because he's actually not shy. His brother says he's not shy at all. It's just it takes a little bit more for him to get mad. Yeah, he's a little bit more tolerable than Amin is.
I mean, he hasn't bodied and thrown Tyler Hero across the court yet. So.
Yeah, and that's what his brother Troy told us that personally. You know what I mean? So, but I definitely like what I saw from him overall. He didn't score a ton of points, but once again, his impact was great. I think the biggest play of the game that he made was, and somebody mentioned it, was that block on Zubac.
Yep.
Toward the end of the game, Zubac has to be about 50 pounds at least heavier than him, maybe even more than that. So for him to come over help side, right, out of position, come over help side, and to get that block on him without fouling him,
he timed it
perfect. Ball,
because he was in the air and he waited to flick his wrist to get he timed it perfectly.
Yeah,
it was nice.
Just incredible defense. Yeah, Brandon said it. Ausar displayed that 1 of 2 athleticism tonight. That block on Zubac was insane. Yeah, absolutely insane, bro. Like to be able to do that without fouling on a guy that much bigger than you who's coming at you is that's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible, man. Like that's the kind of thing that makes him. Those are the type of things that make his ceiling so high if he can put it all together. Because he just has natural gifts that you just can't teach. You just can't teach that.
Exactly.
So if he's able to put everything else together, now you got a player that a lot of people have him being as far as an all-star level player. It's going to take a while to get there because it's a lot to still put together. Still a lot of raw ability that he has. It needs to be seasoned. But those are the kind of plays that he makes that have people feeling that he can eventually get there. So, yeah, I thought he played good tonight, man. Like I said, could have used some more scoring. 6 points is tough. But he didn't take a ton of shots. He had 6 shots. He made 3 of them. So I'm not even really mad about that. So I thought, once again, he was one of the guys that really helped us get out in transition and do what we want to do tonight. Yeah. So I thought he played well. I really did. Yeah. All right, we'll leave it there, guys. And we will move on to, boss, let's go to Paul Reed. Paul Reed tonight in this game, guys. He finished with 8 points on 3 for 6 shooting as well, 0 for 1 from 3. 2 of 6 on the free throw line, which is uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah.
7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 turnovers. That hurts. 5 steals. Wow. He also had 7 stocks because he had 5 steals and 2 blocks. So,
which is crazy.
The defense was there. The offense was not. This is just one of those games completely where they just couldn't put it together on both sides of the ball. Yeah. Go ahead. Take off on B-Ball Paul.
Yeah, I love what I saw from B-Ball, especially he also just had a huge impact on the game. So after, the Clippers' first possession where Javonte was bothering him, Ausar fell for the bait. B-Ball Paul hit his a nice jumper, and then he got a defensive rebound, and then a block on the next, to start the game. That was his stat line in the first 2 minutes. So appreciated that from him. He had that really nice offensive rebound in the second over 3 people. And he passed it out to Ron, who hit his 3. He's just, I said, him and Tolu both did a really good job tonight of grabbing the ball and holding on with it with 2 hands. And I just appreciate that from them. He was the one who scored in the fourth quarter, even though that's when he kind of missed clutch free throws and when he got the technical foul for being emotional.
That was kind of a whack technical foul, bro. He turned around and threw his arm. I
think it was because he was talking. I don't know. Who knows? The ref was just probably but anyways,
that was kind of weird.
He scored to end the 12-0 streak that LA went on. I think he scores a lot of his points, and he scored 2 more baskets in there and had a nice follow-up slam, similar to the one Ron had, where he just grabbed it and slammed it down.
Yep.
It just, I think, yes, he missed some important free throws, but everything else he did just outweighs that area, because if those were super clutch, if everyone was hitting offense, again, it was a whole tale, of everyone kind of not being great on offense except for Duncan. But I think, he came out and showed out. And I think at the end of the game, his emotion just got to him too, and missing the free throws, because he is someone, he also wants to win. He's out there he's out there giving his all, just like we've said about a lot of these guys. So, I personally loved B-Ball Paul's game tonight.
Brandon says 32. I think we had 31 total stocks.
Oh, no.
Let me see. We had 18 steals and 13 blocks. Yeah, 31 total stocks in a losing effort. That just shows you how much of a struggle the offense was.
Yeah.
You have 31 stocks and you lose. 31 stocks and you have 92 points.
Yeah.
It just shows how much of a struggle it was offensively. So I want to give credit to these guys for the effort. It was just, once again, it just wasn't consistent enough, and they let the foot off the gas on top of not being able to knock down shots, right? So, but I thought Paul Reed was okay. I thought he was pretty good. I thought it was, once again, admirable effort. He had a nice pass behind the back pass, I think, to J.I. for the layup, which was on the baseline, which was a tough pass to make for a big. But he made some good plays, man. He was great on the offensive glass too.
Yes,
he was all over. I think some of these guys were just gassed, man.
Yeah.
To be honest, down the stretch, I think they were just tired because they looked differently from quarter one to quarter four. And I'm not letting them off the hook because you still have to you can't let your foot off the gas, right?
Right.
Like you can if your effort is there, but you're just not making shots because you're tired. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But the defensive lapses can't happen. You got to play through that. You still got to bring it and not have and continue to play defense for the whole game. The shooting is fine. I'm not even mad about that. But we are a defensive team.
Exactly.
So it's got to start there. Go ahead.
You said earlier, like they brought up, someone in the comments brought up about how we were just tired. That's probably not why our shots were falling. But if we had just, like you said, just weren't gas, if we were able to keep some of that defensive energy, then I think we still would have pulled it out. We were able to maintain a double-digit lead for most of the game, even without our shots falling. So I think you're completely right. In the fourth, it was just being tired, and the Clippers just were able to push a little bit more and get a little bit more energy. And that's when all their steals came, all our turnovers came, some forced, some unforced. Yep. It was just basically a bad half. The last half of the fourth was rough. And then the beginning, like 2 minutes.
In the third.
That's
beginning of the third,
That's how we,
but we still got to keep in mind that K didn't play, man. Like it wasn't just like one guy was out. Like K, both our all-stars were out.
And for me, like I said, I think if and someone mentioned it earlier too, I think they said if even one of the players who was outplayed,
who's out there played,
And I agree because Tobias, brings half court scoring. Cade brings Cade things. JD and Stu both powerhouses in the paint, both doing great at making their free throws as well. What is added to our stock? So I completely agree with that.
I mean, think about this: if Kawhi was out, if Harden was out,
if
Kawhi
was almost out, they just wanted to spin.
Right. If all those guys were out, like there's no way they even sniff this game. You know what I mean? And that's most teams. They don't even they don't have a lead. Like we were leading most of this game. They don't have a lead for any of the game. If those guys are out. So this, I don't want to overreact. We have a very deep team. Like somebody posted it earlier instead, I forgot who it was, but reposted if you said it. But somebody said one of the headlines was that the Clippers barely beat the Pistons bench tonight.
Yeah.
And I thought that was accurate because they were pretty much full strength.
Barely beat, so, it's not even our bench, but our G League team. Like, like not even because our bench, like Stu is, he's been starting for us with these guys with JD out, but like Stu is technically our bench. And so that's just kind of, it's true. But the only comeback would be, well, the Clippers also did beat us completely healthy 10 days ago. So it's like, but the Clippers they're hot right now, guys. They've won their 9-11s, the last 9 out of 11. So you just, they're not to be underestimated. And we did outplay them for 40 minutes. Yeah. 48, I would say.
Yeah. And that's a good point too. Like, if they're coming on a back-to-back, they're an older team, you kind of got to get that dub. When you've shown that you can put them away, when you've shown that you can dominate the game, right? So I want to give them credit because they didn't pack it in. Like, they could have easily packed it in second out of back-to-back, down 15 points, But at the same time, we allowed them to get back into this game and to, we kind of gave it away. So, but it's just one of those games. It's one of 82. It doesn't mean any more than any of the other 82 or 81, right? So just got to move on. learn from this because it's definitely a game that they have to, kind of really pay attention to going forward because you gotta put teams away. I think if they had the mentality they had against New York, even though they had their guys, they wouldn't have lost this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like I said, there are a lot of positives too that will help us in the long run, like getting Tolu Smith minutes and working with other guys and guys getting more time on the floor with each other, So just obviously, like we said, we're going to keep people accountable, but we also have to look at the positives because it is going to benefit us in the future.
Yeah. And Height K Dialog says the Clippers are the only team Detroit has lost to twice. Yeah, I was hoping we were going to beat them so they wouldn't be the team that claimed that. I was kind of irritated with that, but they are the only team now that has beaten us twice. So we'll leave it there.
They're not going to get past the Nuggets or anything. So
They might not make the playoffs at 15-23, which is crazy. But we'll see. Guys, let's go ahead and go to some reserves, and we will go from there. Boss, let's start with Daniss Jenkins. Tonight, Daniss Jenkins had 10 points on 3 for 8 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, 3-4 from the free throw line, 4 boards, 2 assists, 5 turnovers. Wow.
Yeah.
He really had that many. 2 steals in 21 minutes, boss. What did you see from Chink tonight?
Yeah, I would say a lot of good and some things that I don't expect from him. Like, again, the 5 turnovers. He had a couple bad miscues. His assists are low, I think, truly because of our non-shot making, because he had some nice finds. He was finding guys, but they just weren't making their shots. Some plays I liked from him is he had a steal to Ron lob in the first, and then another steal at the end of it. Was at the end of the second, but first or second. He had that slam with 5 seconds left in the third, which I was hoping they would carry that momentum over. And that nice left-handed layup to take the lead back in the fourth.
Yeah, that was
big. Missed a free throw, but I can't be too mad at him about it, right? Just one, 3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, I can't be too mad at him about it because he came in clutch with us the other day by getting the clutch time free throws. It was just a little off, and he was just energy the whole game as well. I wish he had a chance to get more shots up. I mean, 1 from 3. He could develop a rhythm. He also his 37% shooting is just not Daniss. So just a little bit off there. So, I mean, he had a lot of highlight plays, I liked a lot of what I saw, and then some things that were just a little bit off. But again, he has yet to really do that for us. He's usually pretty on point, doing incredible things, whether it's sinking most of his threes or, getting 15 assists. So it'll just be this is a learning night for him too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like he's been great all year, man. Like, once again, we can't be prisoner of the moment, man.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't play his best game. Like, I think this has to be a season high for turnovers for him. Like, his hallmark has been his ability to protect the basketball and not turn it over. This is the first game I've seen him have more turnovers and assists easily.
Yeah.
Right.
But again,
all season,
because he was finding people. He really was. Because that's why he wasn't getting up shots, because he was getting the ball.
You're right. No, that's a great point. He found guys for a lot of wide open shots.
Yeah,
they just couldn't knock him down. That's a good point too. But once again, he made some big shots in this game too. He wasn't great with the basketball tonight, but I definitely think that he defensively too, man. Defensively too, he made some great plays. He was crashing the glass, right? Making sure he was in there with the trees trying to finish possessions, right? So I thought he did a lot of good things in this game. I love the way he talks too. Like, he is always motivating these guys, keeping these guys locked in. He's a talker. Yeah. I love that about him. Heisenberg says, first time I've seen DJ have trouble with ball. Yeah, first game. Yeah. And who's the defender over there? You mentioned him earlier. Chris Dunn.
Oh yeah,
right? He's a good defender.
Yep,
he's a good defender. So he's giving a lot of guys trouble. But once again, NBL says, I'm seeing a negative pattern from Jenkins during key moments. He has a tendency to play helter. I disagree.
I disagree completely.
He's won some game. What? Have you been watching him play this season, bro? What? I disagree with this. Vehemently disagree with that. Many more times than not in late game situations, he's been the reason we've won games.
Oh my! Multiple times. Just the last
come
game.
Come on, man. What? Yeah. Come on, bro. He had 15 assists last game, bro.
Yeah.
Many of them in the fourth quarter. Come on, man. Come on, bro. What we doing, man? This was not a good game from him overall. It wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't his best. But yeah, this is definitely a game. I'm not going to look at him and say, "Oh, we got to look and see." Nah, he's still the backup point guard, bro, for sure. I have no concern when it comes to him. This is just a bad game. Everybody has bad game. This is a high turnover game from him. He still gave you a lot, though. He still gave you. He gave you what, 10 points? He gave you 10. Yeah, still gave you 10 points. Still gave you some assists. He gave you some four rebounds. I mean, he still did some good things in this game, man. I'm not gonna get on him for one bad game at all.
And it says 2 steals, but I think he had a couple disruptions in there. He got in people's way. He forced guys to pass the ball as well. I think he played solid defense for who he has. Yeah, 1 foul out there. He played for the 21 minutes. He was out there with guys like Harden and Kawhi, and those were his assignments. And so to get away with 1 foul and stay in front, that was also just, again, impressive of him. So
yeah, I like this. DeVero says the more he plays, he'll make mistakes, but he'll make more plays than mistakes. Everybody turns the ball over. Like, we've seen all of our guys at times turn the ball, have high turnover games. Osiris had high turnover games. Case had high turnover games. Like, everybody has high turnover games. The higher your usage is, the more you're going to turn the ball over, right? It's just a natural occurrence. It's going to happen with everybody. It's just, can you more times than not have a good ratio? Yeah. And more times than not, he has a great ratio. Last game was 15 assists to 1 turnover, guys.
But only 2 points, as MB well points out.
Last game?
That game, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you can, but how many points do you account for when you have 2 points and 15 assists? You're accounting for at least 30 points.
At least. Well,
so,
plus the 2 is at least 32. So.
Yeah, exactly. And how many of those are threes? Those assists. So it's like, come on, bro. We're not doing this. One bad game. He can have a bad game every once in a while. So we'll leave it there. Let's go ahead, boss. Let's check out this poll first. So who was the Pistons player of the game? You guys have spoken. You said Ron Holland at 59%. Then there's Duncan Robinson at 19%. Tolu Smith at 18%. It's surprising to me.
Yeah.
And Paul Reed at 4%. I actually had, I understand why you guys thought Ron was. I actually thought in that third, we can actually get to him next, boss. But I thought he wasn't. Let's do it. Let's get to Ron Holland, man. Before we can get into it, let's get to Ron. So tonight, guys, Ron Holland finished with 16 points on 6-15 overall shooting, 1 of 7 from 3, 3 from the free throw line, 6 boards, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block in 25 minutes. So what do you see from Lil Ron tonight?
You said 6 from 10 shooting. Oh no, 6 of 15 shooting. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think 10, I was like, and 1 of 7 from 3. Like, that's crazy ratio.
Oh, that's not even possible.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking. Wait a second. Yeah. So, 40% overall with taking 7 threes. That's a lot of threes for Ron. He did hit a big one. Again, he was just trying to get the team going, and he did in the paint. Obviously, he had just jam after jam after jam. He had that one left-handed. I think it was right-handed. He came in and cleaned up that jam, the back scratcher jam off Tolu stealing lob, the windmill jam, and then his defense was really good too. 1 steal, 1 block, but he was also just disrupting stuff. He had no fouls.
Wow.
Ron Holland had no fouls tonight, and he's something that we've been talking about, how he's been coming in and kind of taking over Ausar's assignments when they're not on the floor together.
Yeah.
So that's just really huge. Again, this is a young kid going up against vets, and he's playing this way and playing smart. And I like his decision making. There were a couple drives to the basket that I think he got. How many turnovers? 2. Yeah, that's when he kind of turned it over. Then there were a couple, like Kelser was saying, like when he makes up his mind, that's what he's going to do. He's just going to do his best to finish it off, and he did most of that tonight. I really loved his hustle by diving to the floor and getting that pass to LeVert. That's hard.
Yeah, man, oh man, that was crazy, boss. Yeah.
So, he's just Ron, and I think he had one. I can see why he's leading the poll.
Yeah, I can too.
We'll talk. We'll get there. I think me and you have the similar of who we would pick, but I still think that he kept the energy up. He kept the defense up. He did great. I actually 25 minutes. That's pretty much. He could have been in more, but everyone was kind of equal. Everyone was between 21 to 28, except for Javonte Green and Ausar Thompson. But I think it was a great game from Ron Holland tonight. 7 threes is just a lot when you're going over 7. But again, he He was just trying to get it going, and none of them were like way off.
And none of them were bad shots when you think about it. Like they were all in rhythm.
That's so true.
So we've always talked about that. Like the confidence is never going to waver with Ron. We talked about that when his player development coach, Charles Hill, Charles came on the show. He said he's never going to be lacking in confidence.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter of now just getting the mechanics and the reps tight, right? And just doing it enough. And he takes them in rhythm, though. Like he's usually open. He's not usually going one-on-one, trying to take a step back three. You don't see that with him. He's taking his shots in rhythm within the flow of the offense.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for. Some games are going to go down. Some games are not. It is what it is. If you don't think he was a player of the game, he was at least a player of the second half. At least, for sure. Because when the Clippers really started to kind of get their comeback going in the third quarter, when they're mounting that comeback, when he came in the game, he was a big part of the reason why we were able to build that lead back up.
Yeah.
And when he sat down was when the lead dwindled again.
Yes. But
like,
again,
he was huge, man. Like he made Heisenberg mentioned and you mentioned it too, diving for that loose ball and getting it. Like, first of all, just his effort, man. Because the thing is, here's the thing. That was going to be over and back.
Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. It was risky. It was a risk.
It was a backcourt violation if he doesn't go and touch it. So if you go back and you touch the ball and you let them get the ball, that's not a good look.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I think he knew that. So he streaked to the floor, went and got the ball because he knew. Here's the thing. He knew if he was able to get to this ball, that creates what? A transition opportunity, as opposed to what? Playing in the half court after having to inbound the ball.
Yeah.
So he understands how we want to play. He could have easily let the ball go in the backcourt, and we get the ball inbounds, and now we're on a half court set, which we're not good at, especially in games we don't have K, don't have JD, don't have Tobias. He went and got the ball and gave us a transition opportunity. And to be on his back and to throw an on-time, on-target quarterback pass to a streaking Javonte Green over the outstretched hand of the defender is crazy. Like, he made that look a lot easier than that was.
The when he was on the ground?
Yes.
That was to LeVert. That wasn't to Javonte.
That was LeVert. Okay, that was to LeVert. Okay. That was crazy.
Yeah, but
that was crazy.
Either way, he was on
easily
point.
Could have been stolen right back.
Exactly.
That's a hard play to make.
So, I mean, that could have been, if it was slower, someone could have caught up to it. It was on point. And so he's one of the guys that, remember I told you I could probably put everyone in 3 tiers. He's someone I would put on a great game. Like him, Duncan, and Javonte. Like Paul B-Ball. And you put them up there in the great game category. Yeah.
Pac-Man said, I feel he should have stayed in. I would have liked to see that too.
Same.
Like, it was one of those things where it's like, when your guy's rolling, just kind of let him go. Maybe he was just tired because, I mean, you can't play in the whole second half, right? I mean, if you want him to have that energy that he has, you can't play him the whole second half if you want to be effective. So at some point, you got to sit him down. I think you got to sit him down.
I think it's a good argument only because we have seen guys play, more minutes than they should be. But
not like consistently though. Like over the course of the game, we've seen guys play 10 minutes.
Since he had no fouls, since he only had 2 turnovers, like I could see maybe like if he wants to keep playing and have that energy. But again, that hustle play was towards it does just take it out of you after you've also just given your all to the whole game. So I could see people's points. But again, that was my whole fear as well when we were just popping off end of third and then got back into it in the fourth. After they went on their little run like that was my biggest fear. Is like, we're gonna have to these guys are gonna have to sit because they are giving their all right now. Everything.
We talked about Javonte.
That's what JB wants, and that's what we want, and that's what they want. You know. So I agree. Why he could have he could have helped in the last 2 minutes. I
feel that. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I was like, man, I was just thinking, man, if Ron was in right now, but because when he was in, I was just like looking at JB like, when's he gonna pull him?
Was he though?
Pull him?
I thought he was because I thought he almost.
I don't remember him being at the very end of the game.
I thought he was just trying to get it.
Y'all let us know. Let us know.
I might be getting him confused with someone else, but I thought he wasn't for the last couple of possessions because he didn't really know what to do with the ball because he had it at the top of the key, right? And then he ended up passing it. Okay, maybe I'm thinking
y'all let us know.
You have a different time in the game too.
Okay.
At the end, so
y'all let us know. But either way, great game from Ron. This is exactly what he has done all year. He knows who he is. He knows his game. He knows when he comes into the game, he wants to bring a spark. And more times than not, he's doing that. So I thought he played very, very well in this game. Couldn't ask for more from him. except maybe to have coach play him for a few more minutes like you guys are asking. So we'll leave it there for him. But I thought LeBron played a great game.
I just needed – my phone just blew up for no reason. I didn't understand why. And it's because the Bears came all the way back and beat the Packers.
They came back and beat them?
Yep.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I know.
I want them both to lose. That'll make me happy.
Well, that's how I feel too. But it's nice. The Packers are probably who I hate the most in the world. So
more than the Bears?
Yeah, the Bears can go out next week. The Packers and their little egos and Matt LaFleur's little troll face can.
Man, but Ben Johnson's over there, man.
Packer. I know.
You want to see Ben Johnson advance the year after he leaves?
I'm sorry. I'm not getting into this right now because then you'd have to ask me if the Bears lost. I'm not going to tell you that I want to see Matt LaFleur advance. Like you said.
Yeah, pick your poison, I guess.
But I like the fact that the Packers were out right away because they gave us crap for that last year. So
that's true. I don't know. I just something about the Bears, man. We'll leave it there. Whole other conversation. We'll talk about. We ain't doing that tonight. I'll talk to you about this after the show, boss. Guys, let's move on now to the Caris LeVert. Tonight, guys, Caris LeVert.
We're interested.
Huh?
Some people are interested. I thought the Bears were out of it. 21-3.
We're not doing this, boss. Stop. You're going back down the rabbit hole. I'm pulling you out. Let's pull you out.
I'm just acknowledging a commenter.
All right, let's go to Caris LeVert, boss. Tonight, Caris LeVert, guys, had 8 points on 4 for 9 shooting overall, 0 3 from 3, 1 board, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals in 22 minutes. Kind of a mixed bag for me on Caris. What do you think?
I just I get it. Again, I would put him in my solid tier. Everyone's saying that he's I saw comments up on saying that LeVert was the reason we lost. Freaking where, guys? Check your biases, please, because 8 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. That's the second most assists behind Ausar Thompson. Okay, so he helped shot creation. 44% from field goal. Other than Duncan, Ausar, and Reed, who are at 70, 50, and 50, that was the highest percent there.
Yep.
He had 2 turnovers. So did basically everybody else.
Right. That's a fact.
3 fouls. It's like LeVert, he missed some timely shots. The turnovers were a little timely. He made some very timely shots. I think he played great defense on Harden. Mm-hmm. I know people are mad about him trying to throw it to Tolu when he was falling out of bounds, but the man was falling out of bounds and trying not to throw it to a Clipper to run up the court. Like, that's what he was trying to do. I just I get why, because he didn't perform great, but he's the furthest thing from why we lost tonight.
He wasn't the reason we lost. I don't think any individual guy was the reason we lost. It was a team loss.
It was, but I would say that there were a couple of people that I would put him. I would put him over Ivy, and I would say he was more impactful tonight. Yeah, I agree with that. I think impact is a great word because I actually think he had a solid impact. Like I said, there was great, solid, bad. I think he's in the solid range. I don't see what he did.
Yeah.
That just for his hate, I would say. Again, we're holding all these guys accountable. And like I said, some of his turnovers were timely. He made some weird. He missed 1 defensive rotation, I noticed, but then he was pretty good about staying in front of the guy. I was just a little shocked, but I wasn't shocked because people have their biases. But the people just said that he was the reason we lost, or that we need to get rid of him right away. I think he helped us more than he hurt us.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just based on what they expected when he got here.
Exactly.
As opposed to what's he actually doing on the court. I think a lot of people look at the contract, things like that. They look at who was here last year in that spot. A lot of things go into it, for sure. The Vero says, did y'all see LeVert fall? He'll be in streak. Come on, man.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. Devon says, I've been over LeVert since he signed, but again, he's a contract. Heisenberg said this was a standard LeVert game. Gets you a few timely buckets, gets a few untimely turnovers. Clara says, Caris was not the reason. I do wonder why he was playing. I noticed this too. He was playing point and had DJ playing off ball. I didn't understand that either. I saw that a few plays.
I think he is a good ball handler overall. And he was also, when him and DJ were in, I think it was just I don't know, they probably just calling certain calls, but there were times when Daniss and Ivey were both on the bench and he was in too. I noticed that as well. I don't mind him bringing the ball up. I like it better than Ausar bringing the ball up.
I agree, but if he's on the court with Daniss, I don't want him initiating offense.
There were a couple times that Daniss, I think, should have had the ball from the jump. I don't know if they were just trying to run things let's see how he does off ball.
Yeah.
they're just testing, because I don't think it happened frequently enough to be like, give him the ball. What the heck? I think it was just a couple things. So, and again, with all these comments too, and I agree, like when you pay someone that much and you want their vet experience and it's this and this, I can see why it's frustrating, but just if we're just focusing just on this game, he was just one of the better people.
I agree.
So
I agree. Yeah. It's once again, this is a team loss, man.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a team loss. Like I'm not going to point to one individual guy and say they're the reason that we lost the game, because you could say about a lot of guys, if they did this, if they did that, we could have won the game, which means no one guy was the reason we lost the game. Javero says Joe LeVert hustle tonight, but he won't be playing the next. I didn't see the fall. Did you see the fall that he took? Because I didn't see.
He took a nasty fall in the first half. I saw him hustling in the second half. So I didn't see it. I saw Kawhi take a nasty fall.
I did too. That's when I saw
Holland take a couple nasty falls.
Yeah.
Or landing weird. But
this profile pic is hilarious to me, by the way. Rep 1280.
Thanks for pointing it out.
Oh man, 55 says tough loss, but we were missing 4 of our core and we made mistakes. We lost this game more than they wanted. This team is deep AF. Yeah, for us to still be close in this game, not get blew out, with missing our guys, packing it in. That's it's some positives to take away. It's not just all negative. I agree. The ambassador says Ivey, Sasser, and Jenkins had an off night at the same rate. A lot of guys, right?
And
24% shooting from 3. Nobody could shoot.
What was one of our losses earlier in the year? Was it when we first met the Jazz? No, because we beat them then. There was one game early in the year where everyone was off offensively too. And this was when we were healthy. Like Kate, like no one was making shots. And sometimes those nights just happen. Yep. And again, we did so well on defense. So it just kind of sucks that we couldn't. And that's what caused that lead. And we've already talked about this. So that's what caused it.
No, you can.
Yeah, I mean,
reiterate.
If we had already gotten, if we had stayed focused on the defensive end, I think it would have been good. If some of our shots were taking, like me and you were talking, and I mean, I was texting dudes. I was like, I'm Sass and Ivy both hitting the back of the rim. They're just off. Both. Just off. And I wasn't expecting that because I don't expect that from them. Maybe from Ivy to get warm, but like Sass has been hot. Jenkins missed, 2 threes. And so, when we were talking, and I was like, I'm glad that we have this 12-point lead. Like, we could be up by 20 right now. That's kind of how it felt.
Exactly.
Like, if we could have just, because then when we did get the stops, if we didn't score on the next thing, that's why we weren't building our lead even more. We were able to get stops and like multiple stops in a row, but then we weren't able to do multiple things on offense in a row.
I feel like our points off turnovers could have been higher.
Yeah.
Because we were turning them over.
Yeah.
But it was just, we just couldn't put the ball on the rim a lot of times.
I'm actually mad that but I'm also just not mad, but like the fact that they ended with less turnovers than we did after we started 14-6.
Would you say 14 after the first half and only 21, I think, the end of the game you were saying? Right?
14 after like the first quarter and a half. Because Greg Kelso mentioned it. Like it was already at 14 and we had 6. And then they ended with 21 and we ended with 24. Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna happen, man. Like we cover every single game, God. We talk about every single game, so it's gonna be tough for some games. Some games you go through every team. They have games like this. Look at the OKC Thunder. They barely beat the Grizzlies yesterday by 1 point. Barely,
and
they're struggling right now too.
2-game. Have they lost 2 in a row? Yeah, I think 1.
Yeah, they've lost 2 in a row, I believe.
But then they've been going like back and forth, so they're also adjusting to things too, and they're obviously a good team that can turn it on whenever.
Yeah.
But like nights like tonight, the defense that we saw excites me to play them. I want to play them because I want our defense.
I can't wait to play them. I can't wait.
But then our offense cannot be like that against OKC.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're full strength and we're not having you know what I mean? We're not having to play without 50% of our offense.
They come to Denver in 17 days. They better be full strength. I mean, I'm excited. I'll see whoever, but I want to see Cade.
Of course.
I want to see Cade and them, as everyone calls them.
Cade and Jaden and them. Or Cade and Jalen and them, as they call them. Yeah. Let's get to some comments here, guys. Devon says the lack of shooting experience was the reason they lost and not playing a full 48, bro. We talked about the runs they allowed them to go on in that third and fourth quarter. If they continue to play to who they are and don't get complacent and lackadaisical like they did, this game is over. Despite all the things we just mentioned, the shooting, the lack of who was available, all that stuff. But I do agree that did contribute. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Zion says, right, we're so quick to blame it on one player. Fact is, this is a regular season, and you're either off or out of form some nights. Marathon, not as exactly. Just one game, bro. We just got to continue to try to get better. Let's see what else we got. DeVero says he fell on his tailbone in the first or second quarter. He did Caris LeVert, but he played through. Okay, yeah, so we got to keep an eye on that. His butt bone says 313 Kurt.
And I would say his second.
I didn't see that though. Go ahead.
Second half was his better half. It's when he made the bad turnover, but like a bad throwing turnover. But that's when he got most of his points, and I think had his best defense. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
he kind of just like tried to lock in and focus, and it must have just worked for him. But yeah, if he fell on his tailbone, we do have a break. But who knows, guys? If he'll be out, most of you, I'd say 70% of you would not care.
I think they would care if he wasn't out, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie, but not a lot of Caris LeVert fans, but we still gonna support all of our guys, man. But we'll see what happens, man. Boss, let's check back on the poll. So y'all holding strong. Iran for 58% for player of the game, Duncan Robinson at 22%, Tolu Smith at 16%, and Paul Reed at 4%. So we'll check back, and it's probably gonna hold steady around this area, but we'll check back once we finish. Wow.
Crazy number.
Man, imagine watching that game. Utah and Charlotte. Yikes. I would never watch.
We're just talking about how they almost beat the OKC in overtime.
Yeah.
And again, the Jazz they can be explosive on offense. That's kind of their thing. So it just, again, goes to show that it's the NBA and it's a basketball game and it's 82 games and things just don't connect sometimes. Because how are you going to take the best team in the league, the champions last year, the best team right now, to overtime and then lose to one of the worst teams in the league by 55.
And then barely beat the Grizzlies the next game by 1 point without Ja. Y'all think it's so good, right? So I'm just saying. So it happens to every team. Every team has bad games. Every team has, losing streaks. Every team. They just had a 2-game losing streak. So it happens to everybody, right? And Utah beat us. So, it's nothing to really panic over right now. We'll get to some of these questions toward the end of the show, guys. If we don't get to you, just repost it. But let's keep going, boss. Let's get through the rest of these box scores. Let's go to our last guy for tonight. At least who I wanted to get to, and this is something I really wanted to get to. Tolu Smith, man. Tolu Smith, guys, tonight. 9 points on 1 for 7 shooting. It's crazy because he only shot 1 for 7 overall, but he got fouled a ton.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm so sad he didn't end with a double-double from one missed free throw.
I know. 7 for 8 from the free throw line, 14 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, and 4 blocks.
Oh, man.
In 26 minutes for Tolu Smith. Boss, take off. What did you see from Tolu tonight?
Well, I was really excited just to see Tolu out there because he's just someone that you've had him on the show. I wasn't in this pod with you yet, but when you had him on the show, I tuned into it. It was super informative. I just love him as a person and as a player. He works super hard at what he does. Yep. And you mentioned it, like he had to come in aggressive, but I just appreciated that he did regardless. Like he came in right away and just made it, like right after checking in, blocked one immediately.
Yep.
He powered through 3 defenders for the score. That was his 1 basket. Like there were 3 guys on him. And that's also what I love about Tolu. Like he's huge out there. He just looks big. He just looks big. I'm like, if he falls on Kawhi's out. Kawhi's done.
Yeah, I saw that too.
like Kawhi looks like a toothpick next to Tolu Smith.
Yeah.
He had a block on Harden in the third.
He had 3 blocks on Harden all game. Crazy.
And the steal and lob to Ron Jam in the fourth.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about him was just grabbing the rebounds with 2 hands. Like that's been like my criticism. That's been my
I know how you are with that.
Of Duren a little bit sometimes when he ends a game with 6 rebounds because it's like just hold on to the ball, bro. And Reed and Tolu, I just really love that they go up with their hands and they elbow to make sure that people get away from them. So I think for his first extended minutes in an NBA game, he did phenomenal. There were a couple things that you could tell that he wasn't in the rotation where like there were a couple loose balls or he wouldn't move someone or he would drop back on a defender and there'd be someone wide open. Like they're just little things, but I'm not going to hold him to that because he did his job in grabbing boards. he got to the free throw line and took advantage, which is something that other guys on this team have struggled with all season, is free throw. So he, made most of them, 7 of 8, incredible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6 offensive, 8 defensive rebounds. A couple fouls, but to be expected. Yeah, him and Reed, I just really did like down there in the paint tonight. So I'm happy for Tolu, and again, it makes me excited. Like, this is our 4th string big, basically. So exactly. Pending anything coming this season, he now has 26 minutes under his belt and 14 rebounds. That's nuts.
Yeah,
that's nuts. Sure. Who was it? Like, Miles Turner is the one that George Baja always goes in on. He gets
always
4 rebounds a game. Brooke Lopez averages 3 rebounds a game. I know he's coming off the bench now, but when he was at the Bucks, he was not a rebounder either. So it was
his game. Yeah, mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, this was the best game of his career by far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in meaningful minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was happy to see for him. He was definitely Zubac is our starter.
Zubac is good. Zubac
he's a good player. He's a good player.
Mm-hmm.
Hyman says Tolu was nice. He kept up with some of the best bigs for the last few years. Zubac, Lopez, Collins. Yeah. So that's a great sign for him.
Mm-hmm.
We were texting during the game, and I was just saying that I needed him to play this game like he was playing with the Crews.
Yeah.
That same level of aggression.
Yeah.
Right? Because we needed his presence in the paint, and I thought he did a great job of delivering. Mm-hmm. I really wish the Pistons could have gotten this game, because I feel like he would have got the belt.
Same. That's what I wanted to.
You know what I mean?
And for Ron, because Ron was just really loving the dunks.
Yeah. Like, you could argue Ron was a player of the game, but I think they would have gave the belt to Tolu, and it wouldn't have felt like a charity because he actually played really, really well in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't get it. But you mentioned when he came on the show, like, it's funny you say that, because when he was on the show, I told him that I thought he could be that 4th big man, have a role on his team, and I thought he showed why. Because when you're dealing with injuries over an 82 game season, or even aside from injury, when you're dealing with foul trouble, when you guys are not playing smart defense, and whatever you got, like, he can come in and be impactful. He can come in and play around. He plays big. He's pretty much a footer. He's 6'11". He can rebound well. He can protect the paint out, and he can be opportunistic out, like, offensively. Even if he's not dunking the ball or hitting jump hooks or whatever, he can still draw fouls. He can still get them into foul trouble.
Exactly.
That's why, even though he's 1 for 7, he's still shooting 8 free throws.
Well,
and knocking down 7 of them.
Again, this is it says 2 turnovers, and I don't necessarily know when those happen. I know one is a pass. But again, that's my whole thing about just bigs holding on to the ball in the paint. The reason he was able to get those foul calls was because he didn't let them take the ball. They had to whack him. They had to whack him to try to get the ball away. And if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the interview that Jace did with Tolu, because he is a guy that just constantly wants to learn and constantly wants to get better. It's just like his energy and his attitude is just very, very much what we like, as like very much this team. He fits in easy,
Yep.
And
I like how, like, when he catches the ball, like, he's just looking to run the offense. He's not looking to do anything outside of his skill set. Like, pick and roll or DHOs, whatever. He's catching the ball and looking to make the next play, so he can roll, or like, he knows who he is.
Yep.
He's not going to do things to hurt you or offensively.
Like They plays, just play their game.
Exactly.
No,
they just play their game 100%. It's funny because, like, when he was on here, he said whenever he sees the first 2 free throws go through, he knows it's going to be a good night. And after he made the first 2, I saw him kind of pick it up another level and really get into it. And he almost knocked them all down tonight. So I was happy to see him get an opportunity and to show that he can be, that 4th big man for this team, because he's solid, man. He's a solid player.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think that he's one of the bigger in the league, honestly. He's big.
He's a big dude, man.
Honestly, I want to see him next to Joel. Joel's probably the biggest, but he's just large. And again, when we get to there will be certain centers that can give us problems, especially if we go with a 2 big lineup like Duran and Stu.
Yeah.
There are certain bigs like Jokic, like Giannis. There's certain big guys that can draw a lot of fouls on people. And to know that if we ever got into foul trouble, that Reed and Tolu are our backups is huge. Like, that's
right.
That's
sometimes you just need bodies, man. Not saying that's all they can do, but sometimes you just need guys who allow you to play straight up.
And some people have that, but they don't get the opportunity to play them. So that's why I'm also really happy that, we have bodies and we've also seen them and know what they can do. And they've played over 25 minutes in an NBA game with us. So
right. Yeah, for sure. Pac-Man says, I would like to see Tolu watch Steven Adams' career and be that great screen and roll rebounding big. I can see that. Yeah. I can now granted, Steven Adams is a tank. Like this dude is like he's wide AF. Like he's ridiculous. Yeah. But I do think he can be that kind of player.
Yeah.
That interior player does the dirty work, which he already does. But I think there's a lot of room for growth in his game. You can just see the motor that he brings. I can see that. I'm not mad at that, Pac-Man. I see the similarities.
He can hop on a plane with the star and they can go visit Amen and Steven Adams down in the Rockets.
Right. Yeah, he could exactly. That'd be his +1. Heisman says if he could pick up a few post moves and get a little more touch at the rim, he could be a force, especially with that solid foul. Exactly. So, he actually has a little bit to his bag too. He just hasn't been able to show it yet. Go ahead, boss.
He was going up for some of these layups and dunks, but they needed 3 people to stop him. Like that's why he was getting to the line because he can do these things. But he got a little bag. Yeah, he can't. Yeah, I agree. I recommend watching the Cruise or just tapping in and just seeing some of his highlights because he definitely can do that.
For sure. Great Tate Debates says opportunity game for leadership, learning for Ivy, Ausar, Ron, and Sasser, and Daniss as point men. Clippers old but tough. We are still. Yeah, I like the last part. We're 28-10, man.
Yeah,
we're 28-10. This is not like the voting where it counts 3 days or three votes on one day. It still only counts for 1 loss. It's not the All-Star voting thing.
Spurs beat the Celtics. Knicks lost. So still 4 games above. Almost like
the Knicks lost again.
The Knicks lost yesterday.
Yesterday. Right.
They lost, and then they went, and then the Celtics regained second.
Okay.
And then the Celtics lost to the Spurs tonight. Spurs are
So we're still, like you said, 4 games up.
I think it's still 4.
Wow. Yeah. So we're good. We're allowed to lose games sometimes.
Especially like this, where like again, if be bummed, but also just look at the positives, like just more time for our bench. And we've been playing like guys like Daniss more in the rotation. We've been playing some of our bench guys more, Paul Reed. So but these are still valuable for them. Like Daniss, 5 turnovers. That's gonna, be on his mind. He's going to do better next time. Paul Reed, but last time he missed clutch free throws, he didn't miss free throws for the next few games because he's just going to pull it all in. He's going to realize, they're going to take from this too. They're bummed, but they're going to learn from it. And if they're perfect all the time, then when they have a bad game, they don't know how to respond. And so now
that's a good point.
Like lots of people have said, some guys like Sass and Ivy and Jenkins are off offensively. Some guys were off in certain areas, like just a lot of guys just off. And it was just that kind of game for us.
I like this too. I know he's saying it in a funny way, Camille. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's probably saying sarcastically, like, if he is, then that's kind of like how I feel too. Is like you think about the team last year in the East who had the most wins, number 1 seed, Cleveland Cavaliers. They won 60+ games and they fizzled out in the playoffs.
Yeah,
right. They peaked too early. It's not just about the regular season. When we won our championship, I will say it in 2004, we won 54 games. Yeah, we're probably going to win more than that this year, or at least come close to We're going to get 50+ easy. So. But it's not about the regular season. Nobody remembers what the Cavs did in the regular season last year.
Yeah.
Because they fizzled out early in the playoffs. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
Right? So
if you're not,
you got to be peaking at the right time.
If you're not first, you're last. Sorry.
To your point. Yeah. It's like you can't be peaking in January. This gives our guys an opportunity to have the experience, so that way when we get to the playoffs, they can have games like this to fall back on and learn from.
Well, that's like the Nuggets are going through something similar, with a lot of their guys out and their young bench and core, and they've gone up and down with winning and losing. And it's just, now's the time to do it. We haven't hit the halfway point yet. We're a few games away from the halfway point, but we haven't even hit that yet. So I'd rather, go through these trials and, now. And because last year, we had injuries later in the season, like Stu. And Ivy was out. We just had injuries, that impacted our role in the playoffs. And now we just know that if that happens again, a lot of these guys just have continuity and consistency with the team and what we've been doing. And still, even though the loss sucks, like it wasn't a blowout. We kept it under 100 points. It was just the last few minutes where we fell apart. There was a lot of, things like we could point to shooting again that throughout the game that could have been, helped propel us, but it could have been much, much worse.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of it, boss, is like we've kind of gotten used to winning.
Yeah. Well, we've been used to closing out, like you mentioned earlier.
And just winning in general. Like we were 28-9 coming into this game.
We just hit 10 losses, guys. 10.
We just hit 10 losses at about
2 seasons out.
Now? Almost 40 games.
2 seasons out from only getting 14 wins.
Let's not forget that.
2
Let's
seasons.
not forget that. The same thing happened with the Lions when they were terrible, and then we just went, 12-5 and then 15-2, and it's like,
hey, we're still 9-8, so it wasn't terrible. We just didn't make the playoffs, but
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but even like that's better than most years.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So we got to keep it in perspective, and that's a great point that boss makes. It's like we got to keep it in perspective, man. Just 2 years ago, we were at the bottom of the bottom. So let's not get out of hand and remember, like, forget where we were. We're still in a good place for sure.
We're gonna talk this game out, and then we're gonna move on to the next.
Right.
Exactly. We have to like kind of sit on this game for 4 days. But
right. That's the thing. Yeah. There's no back to back. We can't. Yeah. I know.
Makes me more excited.
I know. Camille, guys. He was being sarcastic. That's why I said he was just being sarcastic with that statement. He wasn't serious.
I liked it. I like the joke because that's what people did the whole time. Before OKC went on their losing streak, they were like, "Oh my gosh, sorry guys." They were like, they were favorites to like kind of break it. They're like, this is what's going to happen. And now they're probably obviously not going to do it. I think they're 2 losses away from 9.
Mm-hmm.
Just goes to show how great that Warriors team was. Kind of incredible. But I was going to mention with the Lions because the Jets won 3 games this year, and people were like, how the Lions go 0-16 if a team like the Jets can get 3 wins? So I was like, yeah, it goes both ways. Like,
we've been there. Some of us have experienced that.
Yeah.
When we're 0-13, 0-14, it's like we're really about to go 0-6. Like I know what that feels like. We know what that feels like. So that's why we're not tripping over stuff like this.
Exactly, the joke of it all. And again, these losses just make us a little better because the Warriors, that was fantastic. They did not win.
Right.
They didn't win the championship.
Exactly. And that's why they're not regarded as the best team ever.
Yeah.
Because they didn't win the final. They didn't win it all. Somebody cares about the regular season. Even when you break records in the regular season, nobody cares if you don't finish a job.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you can't put too much stock into the regular season.
Yeah.
Are you getting better for the long run? That's all that matters. Drake Matthew says, being this young as a team and this good in the standings is underrated, honestly. I feel like more by us more than anybody else lately. I feel like I'm not sure what he's trying to say there, but I think his point is just that we need to keep in mind this is a young team for us to be playing as well. Maybe early.
Underrated. The fans are kind of overreacting because we're
okay.
That's kind of what I see from it.
Okay. I'm with that.
I do agree. I would say the rest of the league, guys, like I've had people, out here, they know if I ask them about the Pistons, they know who Cade Cunningham is, but they don't know anyone. They can't tell me anything else, and we're starting to get that recognition. I would say more so last year, but they're starting to get that recognition. Yeah. They're coming out of we're putting a name, it goes along with that same narrative of like all Isaiah Stewart does is fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sixers, fans got rid of Tobias Harris and he's actually really worked out well for us.
Right.
And, little things. So yeah, we really are putting the league on notice. And I told you, I watched the Cavaliers game earlier today and Stan Van Gundy was the commentator. And he mentioned how the Pistons are the only team in the league, other than OKC, that are playing both ways.
Mm-hmm.
That are getting it done both ways. He's like in the East, there's the Cavs and there's the Knicks and there's the Celtics who are these offensive powerhouses, but the Pistons are first for a reason. It's because they play 2 ways. And he mentioned that during the Cavs game, which I appreciated.
For sure.
So
for sure.
People that know ball know where we're at. But it's a great reminder. That comment's just a great reminder of like, yeah, talk it out. Talk out the losses, but then move on. And I'm going to take more positives today than I'm going to take negatives because there were a lot of positives to go after this.
And Devon mentioned it too. This is still an evaluation year. That's what Trajan Linden said. This is an evaluation year. I just think the fact that nobody expected us to be as good as we are kind of had people losing sight of the fact that this is still an evaluation year.
Yeah.
For seeing what we have and then deciding what we need based off of what we have. But that was the plan coming into the season to be an evaluation year, to let these guys play together, to get these guys reps, to give them a chance to play together under a coach who knows how to put them in position, right? Mm-hmm. And that's still what this is. It just happened to be in a season where things are just kind of clicking right now.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the overall plan.
Right.
So
Camille said OKC has 3 losses by double digits, and we just have 2. One of those was to the Cavs early in the season. Yep. That's the other thing is like, we're not getting blown out. Like that was something I told you earlier. I was like, as long as they play well, I just don't want to get blown out. And then I think I just would have felt a little bit better about it again if we weren't leading the whole time and then let it go.
Right.
But
Great point.
That's a good point. Like we're not losing, it's the argument for the playoffs last year. Like, yeah, we lost to the Knicks by 6 points total. Just little moments, little tweaks, little things.
Right.
So we're not getting blown out, and definitely not consistently. When we lose, it's pretty close. And this is the first time. I'm not even gonna say first time because we didn't have anyone. Our losses also haven't been like on the backs of us playing super like us. Like there's usually something way off, whether it's our offensive rhythm or we're not playing defense or we're getting into foul trouble and getting to the line. That's really it. So it'd be more frustrating if we were playing our game and losing, but
I agree.
Kind of like today, because we were playing the Pistons game up until the last few minutes. So
right. So I mean, you're gonna have aberrations like that over 82 game season, right?
Yeah.
Zion's, we'll get a few more comments, guys, and we'll call it a night. Zion says, bench only losing by single digits to Clippers. LeVar Ball voice. Even when I lose, I win. Yeah. Never lost. I agree. Yeah, you got to keep it in perspective.
I just want to say real quick, Global Pictures. You've mentioned him a few times in here. The Pelicans said he's not on the table anymore.
Yeah, they removed everybody off the table.
Yeah, basically.
So we may be making around the margins type of move if we make any move at all, I would imagine.
Yeah. And also that could even benefit us guys because they just said through the trade deadline. They didn't say for their foreseeable future. And if anything, it just gives our guys more time to
be evaluated
and be evaluated. And sometimes there's always a risk in a midseason move of chemistry being off for a while, no matter what. So
exactly, we just talked about that.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I trust Trajan completely going forward. And he's even mentioned that this year was supposed to be more of an evaluation year, and we just exceeded expectations, and we're just gonna ride that wave. So
yeah. Last couple comments and we'll move on, guys. Heisenberg says that 06. Okay, here we go. That 06 season when we won 64 games. We talked about this before, boss. I always felt that worked against us. We locked up the #1 seed so early. We didn't play meaningful basketball for the last 2 weeks. That is such a great point. I believe that was the last time we were first place in our conference. And I don't know how long, but it had been a long time, I believe, since we've been in first place to end the season. First time, I think, in about 14 years since we were a 60-plus game winner. I think the last time we were 63-19 with the Bad Boys era. And that was 64 games is the most in franchise history for regular season. Wow. And we didn't even get to the finals that year.
Yeah.
Right. We lost to we lost to the Heat in the conference finals.
Look, those years were rough too, because we were back-to-back conference finals for 5 years in a row? Because we finals
2003 to 2008.
Okay. So
6 straight years.
Yeah. And that's kind of what some teams are going through right now is, of course, you want your team to be good. We were able to pull 1 championship out of there, 2 finals appearances. That's pretty good. But, the Knicks fans have been this is going to, I don't know how to say this right. I'm just really proud of this team and the turnaround they've done, because I also know there's teams out there that keep making it to, maybe I'll use a play-in example, like the Bulls or the Hawks. Like your team just does good, but they never make it to the end.
Yeah.
Right now,
100%.
we are just rooting for this team to just take it a little bit further this year. Like maybe if they win the first, of course we want them to go all the way. Like that's the dream. But if they were to make it past the first round of playoffs, that's a win in my book because it's improvement. Because again, there's teams that just they're eliminated
stagnate
round every year. Yep. I would lose my mind.
We have lost our minds.
Yes, we have. So yeah, especially that I would say 2008, that 4th Eastern Conference Finals where we didn't make it to the finals. It was just like this is our year. This is our year. You know?
Every year after 05, when we lost in the finals, it felt like this is our year. 06, we're going to redeem ourselves. We lose to the Heat. 07, we're going to redeem ourselves. When LeBron goes crazy for the 50 points and we lose in 07. 08, we're going to redeem ourselves, lose to the Suns. And meanwhile, we're getting older and older, and the window is getting smaller and smaller. Yeah. That was the tough part.
That's a good point, too, because we have just so much young talent, which is another reason. We'll just say real quick, like some trade talks, like, do we want, when we don't necessarily need to, do we want to trade away a lot of talented young talent, or do we want to see them progress and either raise their price or become a part of this team more permanently, you know?
Yeah, and that's a great point too. Yeah, you want to have a young core that is on the same timeline. That's why guys like the Devin Bookers of the world, to me, just didn't make sense, because when our guys are peaking, he's going to be declining, right? Yeah. So that has to be a part of it too. Last one from Camille. Says, this also shows how hard it is to beat us. If we paid attention to the small details, we could even be at 35 wins right now. I'm happy with how the season is going, and I hope it ends on a high note. Yeah, like there's losses you could point to, like the first loss of the season to the Bulls, when everybody thought the Bulls was going to be that team. We lost by 4. We didn't come out strong, tried to mount a comeback late. We start off right, we win that. It's a lot of games you could say we could have won that we even lost, and we're still only at 10 losses on the season.
Exactly. So. But yeah, it always sucks. Like, come here, talk it out, and then just move on to the next, because we do have a lot of, and still guys stepping into their own. Like Stats has only recently started popping off. He didn't tonight, and you know, Daniss is finally getting more consistent minutes after you know, we saw him in the beginning of the season and he declined. Like still finding, you know, people are saying we don't have our number 2 guy. I agree, but our number 2 guy could be on our team. We just haven't had enough time to figure out who it is. Because how are you going to figure out who your number 2 guy is if Cade's on the bench?
Good point.
You know, so
good point. DeVero says those 6 straight trips to the ECF is a historic achievement. Not sure, but I believe they stand alone. You know, it's crazy. I think the Pistons did it 5 years in a row. If I'm not, like, the Bad Boy Pistons, I believe did it 5 years in a row. I think from 87 to 91.
Next one.
87 they lost to the Celtics. 88 they lost to the 88 they lost to the Lakers in the finals. 89 they won beat the Lakers in the finals. 90 they beat the Blazers, and 91 they lost to the Bulls in the so that was the last time we got to at least 5. So I think you're right. I think 6 is the record, and I think 5 is second place with the Bad Boys.
Is the record? Is it the record for the NBA?
I believe so. 6 straight trips. I think so.
90s Bulls didn't do it.
I don't think so, because they went 91, 92, 93, and then they
didn't do it.
No, because for the Bulls, Jordan retired.
70s Celtics didn't do it.
I don't think so.
Look, but I think so.
We'll say modern day.
I wouldn't say 7. I think 7's crazy. Maybe another team did 6.
I know the Celtics won like 8 straight championships. So if we want to include them, then okay, right? But modern day, from like the 70s, 75 or 80s on, I think that is a record. We're gonna fact check that for sure.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
I am too. So we'll leave it there, guys. But great comments, guys, for sure. We're going to end the show there, but we do want to say this. The Pistons do have 4 days off, like we talked about, until their next matchup when they host the Suns this coming Thursday, I believe it is. Let me check the schedule. Let's pull the schedule up and see who they play next. But I do believe it is Phoenix Suns. Yes, we play Phoenix on the 15th. That is 4 games out. And then we play the Pacers. And every game after that is every other day, like Boss mentioned previously. Pacers on the 17th, Celtics on the 19th, Pelicans on the 21st, etc. Go ahead, Boss.
The next 3 are home games. Actually, the next 3 are home games, then an away game, and then 2 more home games. Yeah. So that's interesting. The Suns are a little bit on fire right now. I hate Grayson Allen. I just want everyone to know I will never like him. So
I'm not a fan.
So I'm a little bit worried about Allen and Brooks getting under some of our guys' skin, but I would say that more at the beginning of the season. Our guys have been able to hold it down pretty well. Yep. Booker is always a fun matchup. So hopefully with these 4 days, we just get everyone rest, because that's definitely a game that we need Cade. I would hope that Cade is healthy and back and ready for. I would hope that Stu and Duren are ready for, if not Duren, Stu. I don't know. Tobias when he first got his injury, he had a 2-week time frame. I don't know if that hits the 2 weeks or not.
Not sure. Good question. Yeah.
But I also think the Suns have some young talent, some exciting stuff, but I think it's gonna be a fun game. I can see our bench doing some damage on them too, but they are a perimeter shooting team. So we gotta either shut that down like we did tonight with some of the Clippers, or match it by taking taking advantage of our offense.
Yeah, so that should be an interesting matchup with the Suns for sure. Yeah, definitely can't let Dylan Brooks get under our guy's skin. That's what he does
I like
best.
Dylan Brooks.
You know what? I like him because his teammates have great things to say about him. That's why I like him.
He has similar things. Like that's like the whole thing with Draymond Green too. And someone said it here. Dylan Brooks is such a Pistons type player. There's just some guys that they just get a little angry. They can be a little dirty. Because Lou Dort, I like him, but I don't like. There's something different about dirty and ego, which is Grayson Allen, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. Once again, I like guys who contribute to chemistry, team chemistry. Like he's one of those guys that you hate him if you playing against him, but you love him if he's on your team.
I was gonna say too. My other thing is, Brooks and Draymond Green. They say, yeah, I did that. Like Grayson pretends like he's not a dirty player. Right.
He doesn't own it.
Yeah, so that would
own it. I gotta respect it.
Exactly. Like Draymond Green would be like, yeah, I
agree. I agree. Well said. Well said. If you own it, I ain't gotta like you, but I'm gonna respect you because you know.
That's how Stu is. That's how
Stu business
is too. Exactly. When he gets into stuff, he'd be like, yeah, I need to be smarter about that. Well, Grayson Allen just looks around like, what did I do? Yeah,
you ain't fooling nobody, bro. You ain't fooling. Ever since he took Caruso out of the air and he broke his wrist, I have not been a fan of this dirty play. I was like, come on, bro, what are we doing? Yeah. But so we'll leave it there. But guys, so the Pistons are going to be off for 4 days, but the bright side of that, hopefully you guys think, is that we won't be away for that long because this coming Tuesday, guys, it's Tuesday night at 8 p.m. We're going to be doing an off night show with our guys, Eric Vincent, aka E. Vinny, and Everything King. We are going to be back here Tuesday night for you guys to kind of fill some of that gap a little bit. We're going to be doing a Pistons mailbag. We're also going to be talking on some specific topics. So if you guys want us to cover your topic or to answer any of your questions, make sure you drop them in the comment section of this video after this concludes. And we will definitely look at those and consider some of your questions and talk about that. But it's been a while since we've all been together. So we had to get the band back together for sure, but that's four. So
please,
that's definitely going to be fun.
Please, any questions.
Any questions? Yeah, hit us on X. Hit us in our DM or IG. Hit us in the chat here or in the comments section of this video. But yeah, definitely do that.
Also, it'll be new in the caption. I'm trying to be a little bit more active on social media. I created my own page. Okay. Separate from the one that originally was following. I just wanted to keep those two things separate so I could have a page directly to basketball. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more involved on YouTube. It'll take some time, and on Twitter.
Go subscribe to Boss, y'all.
Yes. So Deuce will put the new tag, and it's the same across the platform. Same on Instagram, same on X, and same on YouTube. I'm most active on Instagram right now, but slowly but surely, I learning the ways of
the force
or social medias and how to do digital things.
we gonna get you caught up, man. We gonna get you up to speed.
But yeah, so if you guys, I would love a follow. I'd love for you guys to just talk basketball with me. So.
Devon says it's good to be anti-social media.
I agree.
I do as much as I can for sure, because otherwise, it could be it could be a toxic place sometimes. But we gotta do.
Last week, dudes texted me. I didn't respond all day, and I was like, I just turned my phone off for the day.
I didn't take it personal either. I'm like,
hey, you okay? I was like, yeah.
Man, get your alone time. Decompress. We all need it sometimes for sure. Exactly. So, but guys, we will be back with you guys Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. So make sure you guys set your reminders. We will definitely turn your alerts on for our videos or content, and we will see you guys then.
Get
your questions in. Let us know what y'all know we don't duck no smoke. All right. So we'll get to as many as we can. So with that, guys, that's going to be a wrap for this show. Make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe if you are new, and we appreciate you guys spending time as always, showing up and showing out as you guys always do. So we appreciate it. So we will see you guys Tuesday night. Hope you guys have a great night, and y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Peace. See y'all Tuesday.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'ma be physical with you the whole game. Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of K9. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. They talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that chop, you must run this way. If the dog palm, mess around, find out, If the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that.